Good morning, traders. Well, reaching our next milestone of $250,000 has rendered to be a little bit more tricky in this bear market. Yesterday, we hit a max loss, and today, well, you'll see for yourself. But before that, let's talk about what happened to GOEV today, because woo, this ticker just went absolutely crazy. The best place to start talking about this ticker is usually, and any ticker is usually on the daily chart. And this is a ticker, a SPAC actually, that we traded before the merger, and then we got those new shares and we sold a little bit after the merger. That was an okay trade. It could have been a little bit better because it really died out here, so that wasn't very fun. But then I basically took it off my charts and I wasn't watching it, and it's been selling off for a pretty long time. And eventually today, huge high relative volume, this ticker breaks that downwards trend, breaks $3 big resistance, $4 big resistance, and now it's chilling right around $4.50, $5 with that big next resistance zone around $6. So that's what I'm looking at. It's the SPAC that merged with Canoe. It's an EV company, a new EV company, automobile industry, 254 million shares outstanding. So for me as a small cap momentum trader, this is a fairly large company, but that's fine. I don't usually like to discriminate what companies I trade. Obviously, I make most of my money with stocks between $2 and $7 in the classic small caps, but that doesn't mean I don't get nice trades on large caps as long as they're on a front side, and usually when small caps are very quiet. So it's quite unusual that I actually trade the large caps, but I do tend to sometimes trade them depending on, what's the best gapper. And GOEV today by far was the best gapper. It has a $1 billion market cap today, which obviously went up exponentially because of this huge rally today. Now, this ticker is up because it had some really good news coming in from Walmart that ended up purchasing, let's see here, I think it was like 10,000 of their vehicles right here. So that is a big, big deal. This is one of my favorite news. When a large company or the government has a deal with a smaller company. GOEV is not exactly a small cap, but it kind of fits that trend a little bit. So now let's zoom into the 5 minutes, see a little bit more what happened here. Obviously, my trades are a little bit distracting, so let me just go ahead and remove them. There we go. We had a quick pop here, but this was a 40% move or so, and then it quickly sold off. I wasn't super interested in this area, not to mention it was between $6 and $7, so I wasn't even able to trade in this area on TD Ameritrade. Pre-market for me on TD starts at 7. With Webull, it actually starts at 4:30, so a little bit better for the Webull traders. But at the same time, you don't really get a lot of volume before 7 o'clock because a lot of traders just don't even bother trading that soon. So for me, I don't think it's worth the switch just for the 4:30 thing alone, although it is nice to have the ability to trade earlier if you're interested in that. So I started trading it in this rally where I did okay. I didn't size up properly, and I kind of missed a lot of opportunity, and it gave me a lot of FOMO. It actually gave me so much FOMO that I missed so much good opportunity that I ended up giving back like $700-800 in this area, which was a little bit annoying. And then I kind of missed a little bit of this run. It was a bit of a chop fest, but luckily I didn't, lose here in this area. So let's talk a little bit more about my trades here on the 1 minute chart. Let me just go back to my actual trading screen. You'll see how I traded this one a little bit more in detail. I actually like this price action here. It is quite nice, but if this was at 7 o'clock, it would have been beautiful. So yeah, here you can see it. A lot of fumbling going on here. I just started trading this one, but I'm just scratching like crazy. I don't expect to just see a 30% move. In this market, we haven't been seeing stuff like this in a while. Yesterday, we also had a really, really weird grinder that went for like 3 hours, also very unusual. So I've been a little bit off my game because I've been trading tickers or like trading setups and price actions that's not like super normal for me, which is fine. When those things happen, you want to survive till you thrive, and unfortunately, I've been tripping over myself a little bit, kind of getting annoyed, getting FOMO, and then trading high, and then giving back profits with big size. So I've been a little bit reckless trading, and this is where I got my FOMO because I didn't trade very good here, and then I started really trying to get aggressive here, which didn't work out. And then we got stuck in 3 flushes, or actually 2 flushes here, where I ended up giving back all my profits here, and I was just really, really annoyed. I actually ended up trading this with pretty decent size. Look at this. This was a $6,000 entry, 612, 1824. That's a massive size that I traded on this one, $24,000. So this was only like a 3 or 4% loser, but just like that, we're talking about losing $700-800 in just a couple of seconds, and then basically the same thing happened here, just with a little bit smaller size. So So I went up on the day again to down on the day, and I was like, oh, a total repeat of yesterday, because yesterday we were up $700 or something, and then I ended the day down like $1,200. So that was really, really annoying. Hit my max loss yesterday. So let's scroll forward here a little bit. This ticker crawls up quickly here, and I'm like, oh, I got to start trading it because this is a perfect front side, nice 5-minute breakout, and I'm just trading this one. Again, my first trade on it, after I blew my confidence here, was just small size, and this was actually one of my best trades. And I was like, well, actually it wasn't my best trade, but it was just like a decent win. And again, like just blew my confidence from before. So that was kind of frustrating. I didn't bother trading it at the open because I didn't really trust it, which was good. We did eventually have another 5-minute breakout, and I started trading this one again. But again, like as we were approaching $5, psychological zone, I said enough of GOEV for me until we see a little bit more of a good 5-minute setup. But I just felt like there was too much risk on this ticker. Plus, I just had like my slow profits here, and I just didn't want to have the same effect here of giving back those profits. So a little bit of anticipation helped for sure. But in a second, when I show you guys my running P&L, you guys will really, really see mentally where I made my mistake right here. So let's go ahead and talk about these other tickers really fast. I think INDO might be one of the more interesting ones to talk about, but I'll go through the other ones as well. So let's just start with INDO, pretty much the only ticker I'm up a decent amount on. Well, not even decent. All these are just total scratches in the end. I was up the most on GOEV till I gave it all back. Very, very stressful. So INDO, this ticker here, look at that daily, just a huge sell-off. So many back holders on this ticker. And if you zoom in, you'll see it. This ticker is really struggling. Relative volume's okay, but it's just very, very red. And you can see here on this front side, it was a quick and nice move, but it had this huge resistance right around $9. And it was just not able to break that. And you could really feel it. Plus the volume, I wasn't in love with it. And this area was okay, but it just was really, really struggling. I tried a few times to trade it. Really, a ticker like this where I'm only up $150 with this many trades, usually I would be like, this was a total fail. But today ended up being my best ticker, which is just a little bit baffling. With GLSI, the next ticker I'm up the most on, this was a really, really sketchy move. It was a quick rally to the front side. It halted. I traded out of the halt. It popped up. And I was, this could have been a decent win. I was waiting for that continuation. We didn't get it. I thought we had a little bit more upside potential, and I just cut my losses. Or actually, I cut the trade. I wasn't red yet. And then literally as I cut the trade, it flushes. So I was so happy I avoided that flush. That could have been really, really annoying. And I just don't know if I have the emotional capacity to deal with like another big loss today. Well, I've already had big losses today, but I'm just saying like yesterday was a max loss. I would have just been so annoyed at myself. So a trade like this was definitely a little bit aggressive, and I should have never done this trade. So even though it was a green trade, I think I'm actually quite disappointed in myself that I did this trade, and especially with this decent size. This is slightly above my average, so pretty decent size for a trade I'm not loving. Plus it's a halt, and I usually don't trade around halts, so kind of weird. And it shows you I'm a little bit emotionally, maybe even unstable, you could say, because that is not a very solid trading right there, or trade. KSPN, I just traded this one really quickly right before I started doing the recap video. I did a very small trade here, 300 shares, a little pop-up, but I didn't like how it felt on the order book, so I ended up closing this trade. Plus I was just about to start filming the recap video, and I usually don't like trading after 10 o'clock, but it looked like a really good opportunity at the time. The 5-minute was pretty nice. The daily had this nice little $10 zone. I thought we were going to break this zone and then maybe find a little bit of support and continuing, and now it's just falling off a cliff. Like, you guys are seeing this. This has been such a sketchy market, and this is why I've been struggling to size like I have been, because we're dealing with so many flushes, so many unusual tickers, and it just feels like a minefield out there. So I mean, I'm only up 40, 50 bucks today. It's a total scratch day, but I don't know if I should be happy or if I should be a little bummed out, because I avoided a lot of mines today, but at the same time, I gave back a lot of profits by not being super patient and just not being very relaxed. So I'm a little bit annoyed at myself, but at the same time, I'm kind of happy that I avoided some major landmines today. And then just really quickly here, HSTO, nice high relative volume on the daily, which is really nice to see. Big resistance at 475, but the 5-minute is just on a nasty backside. I traded this one pre-market when it was still on the front side right here. Volume was a little bit light. Usually for a $5 stock, you'd want to be seeing 200-300 shares being traded per 1 minute pre-market like this, especially when it's on a healthy front side like this one. Somehow I managed to lose money on this front side, and that's quite frustrating. I really don't know how I managed to lose money on this one. But at least I was able to notice that it was on a backside, so I stopped trading it and I avoided, any bigger losses on it. So that's really good. So here are my stats for today. They are a little bit different than you see on TD Ameritrade, and that's because I did not import this KSPN trade. Like I said, I just placed that trade right before I started filming, and after the trade, I started filming. So that's why you don't see that one. I will upload it as well. But that's the only thing that's missing. So I did 40 trades today. Quite a lot. Usually I don't do 40 trades. Usually I'm around 25 or so. My average position cost a little bit higher here than yesterday, which is okay, but unfortunately it was because of a lot of Hail Marys that should have never happened. You can kind of see with my average win, average loss, like really negative today, so that's not even good. Plus total winners here also just lower than probably what it should be. Look at some of these Hail Mary trades. We got this $17,000 trade, loser. We got this $17,000 trade again, loser. So I had no real winners with my big size, and my size today was just all over the place. It was really annoying to have my winners with the small size and my losers with the big size. I need to be more consistent with that, and that's basically, I just need to make my base entry probably around $10,000, and I just cannot size into my trades until the market heats up. I cannot add into my winners. If I didn't add into my winners today, it would have been a green day. I don't know why I made that mistake. I've been saying it quite a lot lately, and today I just succumbed to emotional trading for sure. Not even a question. And actually what I'm starting to do now in my watch list, I'm combining all 5 of my watch lists per week. So I usually came out with 1 per day, per weekday. I'm actually combining all of them. So you'll see like July 11th and then July 12th. I haven't finished this one because it's more than a watch list now. I'm doing a little bit of a retrospect. I'm thinking about what I need to change. Like yesterday I was talking a little bit, let me zoom in here, about maybe adding a new rule, because yesterday I gave back so many profits and it just really was not nice. So I think I need to make a rule where if I'm up over my daily target for the day and then all of a sudden I start going red, I think I need to just call it, because yesterday I hit my daily target and then I hit my max loss, and that is just something that should never happen. I would love to get in conversations with you guys. Just leave a comment below and we can start chatting about this topic. You do need to be a Fast Track member, which you can get access to for 7 days for free, and then it's only $35 a month. Pretty slamming deal if you ask me. And then here's the running P&L I wanted to show you guys. So this was yesterday. This was the most ridiculous chart ever. This is when I was up 706, and then I just boom, it just one nasty red mine, binge trading. I just went and just gave it all back. That's something that's a little bit similar to what we had today, where I was up like 400 or so. Still not really great. Didn't hit any sort of targets or anything like that. And then it just, in a few trades, I just take some big losses. And this is a little bit of the problem when you're trying to scale size. Usually these things don't happen to me as much, but right now I'm trying to scale size, right? So I'm trying to get to like at least a minimum average trade cost of $10,000. And oftentimes I do that by averaging into winners, which usually works really well in hot markets. But right now, since the markets are a little bit choppy, every time I average into a winner, oftentimes I get stuck into a flush and then boom, I just give it all back. And that's why I've been saying I just need to increase my base entry and then take my profits, do everything else normal, just increase my base entry. I don't know why it's so much easier said than done. It's not even that hard of a concept, but I haven't figured it out yet. So let's see what it takes to get to that $250,000. I think I have the plan in mind. I just got to execute. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.